Vamos a comenzar, solamente que tengo unos pequeños anuncios. El primer anuncio es una buena noticia. Bueno, tengo dos buenas noticias. La primera noticia es que al terminar la jornada de este día, o es muy probable que en el receso, les voy a subir ya lo que es sus cuadros de notas, que sería referente al módulo número 1, ciclo 01. Yo creo que se los voy a subir en el receso. Así que sus cuadros de notas, en este caso de mi materia de inglés avanzado, ya están listos. Y también les voy a subir los cuadros de notas de didáctica también. Fíjense que no, les voy a subir un archivo separado. En el portal de inglés van a encontrar obviamente las notas de inglés, y en el portal de didáctica. Uy, perdón, que me voy ahí activar. Y en el portal de didáctica, buenos días, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Y en el portal de didáctica van a encontrar obviamente las notas de didáctica. Ahora bien, dudas, consultas, mire, teacher, me las hacen a mi WhatsApp privado. Teacher, mire, yo tengo una duda aquí en esta nota, aunque la verdad es que pues la mayoría va muy bien, Carrila. Tal vez lo que les ha afectado a algunas personas es de repente la participación, porque acuérdense que yo eso sí lo tomo en cuenta. Entonces, por ejemplo, si usted ve que su nota de participación está baja, porque obviamente nosotros vemos eso, y más en mi caso, ustedes saben que yo demando lo que es la participación. Entonces, es por eso, si ven nota baja en participación, es porque obviamente usted casi no me ha participado en clase. Acuérdese que en este caso yo estoy formando maestros, no estoy formando otra cosa, ¿verdad? Entonces, usted en esta materia y en todas sus materias debe de participar. Punto número 2, hay una pequeña, bueno, no una pequeña, hay una presentación para el día miércoles, que posteriormente yo les voy a decir de qué trata. No es cosa del otro mundo, no se preocupen, pero les voy a dar hoy, mañana, para que se preparen para el día miércoles, pero ya les voy a dar que es en base a esto. Y la buena noticia es la siguiente: me pasaron unos temas que vienen en la parte del ECAP del inglés, y los vamos a comenzar a estudiar ahora. Son temas muy fáciles, son temas, digo fáciles porque, bueno, quizás porque a mí me gusta leer, yo espero que usted también, ¿verdad? Pero son temas muy fáciles porque todo tiene que ver con el idioma de nosotros. ¿De dónde viene? ¿De dónde viene? ¿Dónde nació el idioma inglés? Así es que pilas, señoritas, porque hoy vamos a iniciar la parte del ECAP, pero en este caso, obviamente, en inglés. ¿Alguna duda o consulta antes de comenzar? Excelente. So, well, good morning again, my littles. So, good morning. So, I'm so happy to have you again. Today is Monday 28th, and I'm so happy because it's Monday. We have to give thanks to God every day for all. So, good morning, Alessandra. Good morning, Anita, Irene, and Jackie. So, if you see, thank you so much. If you see, the topic for today is the origin of language. We are going to discuss, pay attention to the verb. We are going to discuss your participation. It is a must. It is a must for today. So we are going to discuss, where does English language come from? Okay, this is the introduction to linguistics. But my ladies, do you got any idea where does language, in this case the specific English, come from? Have you had the opportunity to read about it? Have you been reading about it? Maybe? No? Be honest. No, teacher, this is the first time. Be honest, okay? Be honest. This is your first time?
No, I have no idea, teacher.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much, Irene. So, in this case, the origin of the language, but please take into account the agenda, not for today. Don't worry about it, because we are going to start to discussing the topics that is going to be included in your recap. So the agenda is definition of linguistic. No puedo iniciar un tema si usted ni siquiera sabe qué es la lingüística. Y mire, se desglosa bien bonito. The origin of linguistic, the origin of the language, and we got a class that is theories, because we are going to discuss who's the father of the linguistic. In this case, I got a question to all of you, my dears. What does linguistic, or what do you think linguistic study? I'm going to give you, because it's a must, I'm going to give you 60 seconds to give us your opinion. I don't want, I mean, I don't, I'm not asking about definition. Okay, be careful with that, because I'm not asking about definition. I'm not asking about meaning, okay? I'm asking about definition, okay? I don't want to say, okay, linguistics is when you study the structure of the words. No, no, no. This is the meaning, okay? That is good, but I'm asking for the definition in your own words. So, my ladies, I'm gonna give you 60 seconds. Please be ready. What does linguistic study for? Don't look the specific information to Google, okay? You don't need Google, guys. You are very intelligent, so you don't need to look for the definition on Google Drive. No sé por qué siempre le digo Google Drive. What does linguistic study? Volunteer, please. Who wants to be the first to participate today? Or maybe do you need more time? Let me know, please. Do you need more time extra? No?
No.
Okay, thank you so much. So, who wants to be the first one, please? I got Alessandra, Ana, Irene, Jackie, please.
Me?
Thank you so much, Jackie. What about you, Jackie, please? What does linguistic study?
Uh, I think that linguistic study the language, how human speak, how they formulate each phrase maybe.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in English, we know that first we need to use a subject in a
Mm-hmm.
sentence, then a verb. And I think that it has to be with linguistic study.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect, good, thank you. Remember, I always put open questions in the parcial, okay? That's why I like to do this kind of dynamics, because number one, you have to participate, obviously, and number two, because you will feel more comfortable giving your own definition, okay? Remember, my style is not like okay, this is the PDF. Could you please read the 40 pages and then give us your resume? No, wait, this is not my objective because it's an old methodology. I really like to see my students participate in the class because when you participate, you are learning at the same time. Let's see, volunteer number 2. Thank you, Jackie. Nice, as usual.
Me,
Okay, Irene, thank you.
in my personal opinion, I think that linguistics study the language, that in this case English. It study the different sounds that we have when we pronounce words, sentence, and it focuses in their meanings.
Perfect. I like when Irene said it's focus or it is basic on sounds. What is sounds? When I'm listening to music. No, wait, this is totally different. What is sound? A sound is morphology, syntax, phonemes, pragmatic, linguistic. That is sound. Es que no es solo decir la casa es azul. Hoy conmigo, mi objetivo es que ustedes aprendan la estructura, cuál es la diferencia, y perdón con lo que voy a decir, cuál es la diferencia entre beach y beach. ¿Me entienden? Excellent. Thank you. Volunteer, please. Volunteer. Who's missing? I think. Okay. Thank you, Ale.
Okay, I don't know, but I think that is a science that study the
Yes, it
language,
is. Mm-hmm.
but obviously include the story, the deepest part of the language. No, just like English and grammar. No, it's deeper, and that as I said, the sound, the syntaxes, the phoneme, everything that makes, even study how the song works. I mean, how the position of your tongue, the position of your mouth to make these kind of sounds, and why this coming from. So,
yes, it is. Yes, it is. For example, right now, I'm teaching grammar because I got a second group. I'm teaching grammar, but grammar, it is specific on this. Linguistic, because your English is advanced, linguistic is all included, as I said before. Linguistic is phonemes, morphemes, syntax, pragmatic, okay? So it is not just the study, okay, linguistics is the study of the structure of the sentence. No way. Yes, it is, but according to your partner, it is deepest. Grammar is the structure of the sentences, but linguistic include how do you write a word, how to pronounce, includes phonetic. What is phonetic? ¿Se ha fijado cuando ponen las palabras en corchetes? That is phonetic. Includes syntax. What is syntax? Is the study of the sentences. There is a big difference between a study and a structure, okay? So, syntax is when you got the house is blue. The is an article. House is a noun. Is a verb. Blue is an adjective. And what is phoneme? What is a phoneme? Is it according to your partner, according to Irene, according to Jackie, according to Alessandra? What is the study of the sound? What's the difference between is and s? For example, we got the word, muchos maestros, muchos teachers, catedráticos, como usted le quiera llamar, licenciados, cometen el error de decir, yo tengo el verbo, tengo el pronombre, se lo voy a decir de una forma incorrecta. Tengo el pronombre he y tengo el pronombre posesivo his. Es un fonema. Eso no es un fonema. Yes, it is because sounds equal. It's not a phoneme. It's not a phoneme. What's the difference between the first pronoun with the possessive pronoun? The pronoun is his. Possessive, his. What, teacher? Yes, there is a sound between the vowel. There is a very little sound difference between the vowels. Okay. For example, his, 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 his. I'm teaching grammar. I'm teaching grammar with a second group that just grammar. And right now, we are studying the structure of the words, but we are studying the structure of the articulation. We got the bilingual. We got the study the phoneme according to your throat. Because it's not, okay, the house is blue. Repeat, it's not necessary to open your microphone, but please, guys, repeat. The house is blue. Look at your town. It is in the same spot. It is in the same position with the older words, no, right? The between your teeth. That is very important because teacher me dicen ellos porque todos los que están en ese grupo trabajan en call center y me dicen ellos, teacher, I speak English. I know I speak English, but I'm not speak English in the correct way. What is the correct way? When you pronounce correctly. As I said before, the difference between beach, beach. There is a big difference. Beach, beach. I speak English. Okay, God bless you. Todos los call me dicen lo mismo. I speak English, so could you please? Yo le dije una vez a uno de ellos, eso fue al inicio. Yo me llevo súper bien con ellos, así como me llevo con ustedes. Yo le dije una vez al inicio a ellos, allá por enero, no me traten como clienta. Yo no soy customer. Ustedes no están en customer service. Ustedes están en gramática. Porque cuando teníamos conversaciones, hello, hi teacher, so how are you? So what can I do? So I'm not a customer. I'm your teacher. And you are in class, not customer service. So I speak English is a big sentences, but be careful on that. I'm speak English because I'm a study, okay, blah, blah, blah. This is not your case. This is not your case, guys, okay? Please, no. This is not your case. I'm talking about the other groups. But because you are my advance, ustedes son mi grupo más high ahorita, o sea, you are my advance. So, be careful when we say I speak English. But do you speak well? Do you speak? So, that is linguistic that we are going to learn today. Okay, the study of structures, sentences, nouns, meaning, sounds, etc. Okay, who's missing? I think Anita, just Anita, right? Yes. Good morning, Mauricio, welcome. Please, Anita, give us your definition.
As my classmate said, is focused on the pronunciation and how is any word how is written, and taking into account as my classmate Irene said, the phonetics, the semantic, and all
yes, it is. Yes, it is. And now you are going to learn what's the difference between, because there is a study. There is a study of phonemes, pragmatic, syntax, phonology, phonetic, because most students get confused with phonology and phonetic, but there is a big difference. Okay, so I don't know, Mauricio, would you like to participate for question number 1? What does linguistic? Yes. Excellent. Thank you, Mauri. Go ahead.
Well, I think it is to the, I don't know, maybe it's a components of the language, also the function of the language. For example, how the language can work in a society, the dialects, the variations that could be in the languages depending on the region. As you said before, the phonetics, the way of the tongue make at the time of speaking, the different pronunciation. Also, I don't know, things like that.
Yes,
all
of
about
course.
language.
All about language. Excellent. So let's see. What does linguistic? This is just internet definition, but it is according to the CAP. Para los que ingresaron un poquito tarde, los temas que vamos a ver en inglés a partir de hoy, porque me pasaron los temas, miren, me peleé, o sea, conmigo misma, tratando de conseguir el CAP en inglés, o sea, la parte de inglés, pero lo que sí me lograron pasar fueron algunos temas que salieron, bueno, no varios temas, la verdad que todo lo que vamos a ver a partir de hoy en inglés viene en la parte de inglés del ECAP. Entonces, eso es lo que vamos a ver, así que por esa parte estoy muy contenta porque sé que estamos progresando y sé que nos estamos preparando, pero como les he dicho siempre, I give to all of you my 50, okay? But it's not just my business, it's your business, okay? I will give you my 50 in order to receive your 50% too, okay? So what does linguistics study? Could you please, Jackie, help me to read, please? Thank you.
Linguistics is the scientific study of language. It involves an analysis of language form, meaning, and language in context.
Okay, we got three important words. The first one, language. The second, meaning. And the third one, context. Thank you so much, Jackie. Okay, now, what's the origin of linguistic? Pilas con esto porque esta sí es pregunta de parcial. What's the origin of linguistic? Linguistics began to be studied systematically by the Indian scholar Panini. There are some teachers that pronounce Panini. I say Panini. Excuse me. This is me. Okay, this is me. Panini, an ancient Sanskrit philologist in the 6th century BCE, beginning around the 4th century BCE, before the Common Era. This is the origin. The second, Aristotle, a Greek philosopher and polymath during the classical period in ancient Greece, laid the foundation of Western linguistics as a part of the study of rhetoric in his poetics. The first one, that is Panini, he was studying the origin, but he created the linguistic, the system of. Aristotle was a kind of different because he was a polymath. I mean, yeah, he's one of the father of the linguistic studies, but he was also the father of the mathematic studies. Okay, take into account. I'm recording the class, but please take into account. So, what does language study? Before to give us your own definition, we are going to watch a video related with the first. In this case, the origin of the language. Please, guys, take notes, okay? Take your own notes. It's not necessary to write a big paragraph. Please take notes. The most important to you, okay? Because you are at the university, not in high school. So please, my dearest, pay attention to the video.
So, quick recap. Languages can be genetically related. This isn't like human familial relationships where two parents produce children one at a time but continue to exist themselves. With languages, what happens is the language will expand either by the people who speak it expanding or by outsiders learning the language, and then in different places they'll talk more and more differently from each other until, over time, they can't understand each other anymore. It's not a perfect analogy, but when this happens we say that the resulting languages are descended from the original language, called a proto-language, and that they're genetically related to each other. We've seen this happen in history, with Sanskrit branching into the modern Indian languages, or Latin branching into the Romance languages. From these known examples, we can figure out what it looks like when a group of languages are related, and we can then seek to identify those same patterns in other languages and determine whether or not they're related too, even if we don't have any written records of the parent language. The method linguists use to do this is called the comparative method, and it's yielded some cool results, linking together huge groups of languages into giant genetic groups, like Indo-European, Afro-Asiatic, Niger-Congo, Austronesian, and plenty of others. But can we go bigger? Can we group languages into even bigger and bigger groups? Or, here's the real question, could linguists prove that all the world's languages are related to each other? Before Latin, before Proto-Indo-European, was there ever a proto-world? Well, maybe, but the normal comparative method isn't going to do us any good here. It works mostly by comparing the vocabularies of languages and looking for regular patterns between them. Like, where Spanish has the ch sound in its word for a thing, Portuguese will usually have a t sound in its word for that same thing, suggesting that maybe they had a common ancestor with the ch sound, and in Portuguese it changed to a t sound. Or maybe the other way around, this is too little to tell. Point is, if you find enough of these regular correspondences, then at some point you have to say, okay, this is too much to be a coincidence, these languages are probably related. Thing is, though, this method works best at short time scales, when the changes languages have gone through are the simplest and the easiest to figure out. At longer and longer time scales, the changes start to pile up and get more and more complicated, and it gets harder and harder to tell if these are actually regular correspondences or if it's just random coincidence. Not only that, but anytime the meaning of words change in addition to how they're pronounced, that's also another piece of evidence lost. And given enough time, more and more words will start to mean different things than they used to. Because of all this, the comparative method can only really show us if languages are related if they diverged from each other fewer than, like, 5,000 years ago or so, and human language is way, way older than that. This doesn't necessarily mean that there wasn't a proto-world, though. Maybe there was. Maybe at some point humans started speaking for the first time, creating the first ever language, and from there it spread out and diversified and diverged until all the daughter languages were so different that we can't tell anymore. Or maybe not. Maybe language was invented multiple times independently, and modern languages are descended from different first languages. Thing is, we don't really know how language first happened. Like, we're the only animal on the planet that can really use language. Gorillas using sign language and parrots repeating words and phrases is cool, but for reasons I'll get into some other time, the stuff they do never gets nearly as complicated or sophisticated as what humans do, no matter how hard we try to train them. So, at some point, we must have evolved the ability to speak. But we don't really know how that happened. Did we evolve the physical ability to speak and then the mental capacity for language? Or the other way around, with the mental capacity evolving and then the physical ability? Who knows? Did we start speaking immediately after we evolved the ability to speak? Or did it take a while before we invented language? Who knows? Did our ability to speak evolve slowly, bit by bit, involving progressively more complicated systems of communication, or was there some single mutation that suddenly gave us the ability to use language all at once? Who knows? Did language happen when we started using the cries and yelps and grunts and other vocal signals that chimpanzees also use to communicate more precisely? Or maybe we actually evolved sign language first and only started using our mouths when we evolved the necessary equipment in our throats? Or maybe language is just its own completely separate thing that didn't develop directly from anything simpler? No one has any idea. And how would they? You can't really look at fossils and tell whether or not the creature they used to be inside of used language, let alone what that language was like. Maybe eventually neuroscientists and geneticists will be able to piece together exactly what order we evolved what in, and maybe from that we'll be able to figure out how language happened. But for now, we're kind of in the dark, and there's not much that traditional linguistics can do to solve any of these problems. So, as far as I can tell, that ignorance basically leaves us with three possibilities concerning proto-world. 1. Proto-world did in fact exist, and all of the world's languages are genetically related. This doesn't necessarily mean that proto-world was the first language. Maybe the most recent common ancestor of all modern languages existed at the same time as a bunch of other languages, but now all those other languages are extinct. Or maybe it was the first language ever, but either way, possibility 1 is that proto-world was a thing that existed. 2. Proto-world sort of existed. Like, let's say language evolved really slowly out of the simpler, non-language forms of communication our ancestors used. In between, they would have used some sort of communication that was more sophisticated than what chimpanzees do, but less sophisticated than real language. Like, maybe they developed some sort of complicated system of vocal signals that signaled for different stuff, but that they couldn't put together into complex sentences. Or maybe they had some sort of sign language-like system supplemented by vocal signals. Maybe names were the first linguistic signs to develop, and we used them to get each other's attention. Or maybe we used singing and nursery rhyme-like stuff to socialize with each other, and language developed out of that. Point is, there's a lot of possible things that language might have first developed out of, but that wasn't itself quite language yet. So maybe all of the world's languages are descended from one of those pre-language systems, in which case there was sort of a proto-world, it just wasn't technically a language yet. 3. Proto-world didn't exist at all. Like, maybe whatever genetic mutations allowed humans to speak spread through the population, and then, after the fact, language was invented multiple times, and those different initial languages eventually evolved into different groups of modern languages. We have no way of knowing which of these 3 possibilities was what actually happened, but the idea that proto-world might have existed is really interesting, so let's assume for a second that it did exist. Can we know anything about it? Well, besides a few fringe linguists who claim to be able to reconstruct some of it, the general consensus seems to be a little bit, but not a lot. Like, until about 100,000 years ago, all humans lived in Africa, and after that they spread out across the world, so we can be reasonably sure that it would have been spoken in Africa sometime earlier than about 100,000 years ago. We also think that humans diverged from chimpanzees around 7 million years ago, so unless that common ancestor could talk and chimpanzees lost the ability to speak, proto-world would have had to have existed sometime after that. Besides that, well, I mean, we can look at all of the languages in the world and ask ourselves, what do all of these things have in common? And then we can assume that proto-world also had those traits. But we don't find a whole lot when we do that. Like, human languages can be really different from each other, so all you can really say is, like, it probably had both consonants and vowels. It probably had between 10 and 100 phonemes. You probably had to use your tongue to speak it. You know, stuff like that. And that's kind of it. Beyond that, we don't really know anything about proto-world, and we probably never will, including whether or not it existed. I hope you found it kind of fun to think about, though. See you soon for more linguistics videos.
Interesting, right? Interesting, but it is a kind of boring to listen a lot of information. But in this case, what was the first language? Question number 2. What was the first language? Question number 2. How did languages begin? Where and when? There are 5 theories according to the language topic. There are 5 theories. The first one named the bow-wow theory. The bow-wow theory. What is that? Supposedly, the first theory began when our ancestors, maybe Panini, maybe one of the father of the linguistic, start imitating the natural sounds. This is the first theory. Humans learn according what they heard. For example, look at a baby. If you see a baby, if you pay attention, what is the first skill that the baby practice according to the English language or in general? I'm not talking about just a specific English. What is the first skill as a human we learn? We were studying this one on January, I remember, on January. So what is, excuse me, the first skill?
In general, no, about language or language.
Yes, about language as a human.
Listen.
Excellent. It is listening. Okay? It is impossible as a human to learn writing first, speaking first, reading first. No way. You need to hear a sound. Okay? So according to the Bow theory, our ancestors said humans like to imitating natural sounds. When a baby say mama, papa, agua. Have you ever asked to yourself why do babies learn mama, papa, and agua? That are always the three words. Mamá, papá, and agua. ¿Por qué será que siempre aprendemos esas tres palabras? ¿Por qué no aprendemos a decir hola? ¿Por qué no aprendemos a decir casa, carro? It's really interesting. I would like to ask you to ask psychology because in my case, to be honest, because I'm not inventing, to be honest, I don't have any idea. I don't have any idea. Do you?
I think that is because are the most essential in this stage.
Maybe.
I mean, they don't need to speak a lot in that part of their life, right?
Okay, maybe, excellent. What is the problem? Because maybe in the future, in 20 years, maybe you are going to be a mom, a dad. So you have to be careful. What is one of the mistakes that our parents like to do? El carrito, el chuchito, all the words are in a little way. ¿Cómo es que le dicen los papás? El callito, no way. You have to be careful, okay? Because it's maybe it's not your business because you are very young, but when you are going to teach a word, yes, it is very simple, but it is important. Yes, it is very simple, but it is important. El callito, ay, que el guau, esa. El guau guau, dicen las señoras. ¿Se han fijado que el guau guau, ay, viene el guau? Yo cuando salgo con mi perro al parque y me encuentro, me encuentro señoras con niños chiquitos como de 1 año, 2, el guau guau le dice, y yo, ay, señora, digo yo así. Entonces, no way. So, okay, to continue, the first theory is the Ball theory that our ancestors say humans like to start imitating the natural sounds. This is the first theory. The second theory is ding dong. The ding dong theory. What is basic on the environment? And that is related according to, for example, if you born in Japan, obviously you are going to speak Japanese. If you're born in a Latin country, obviously you are going to learn Spanish. So the ding-dong theory is based on the environment. Regálenme 10 segundos, por favor. Thank you so much. So the second theory, it is based on the environment. Teacher, would you please write it down? No way, because estoy en la universidad. You have to learn to taking notes, okay? You have to learn to taking notes. This is the old school, okay? I'm old school, okay? So I'm so sorry. So the first one was Bow theory. That is based on people or humans start imitating the natural sounds. The second is the ding dong theory, that is our environment. It's very simple to understand. If you're born in a Latin country, you are going to speak Spanish. If you're born in the Europe continent, maybe you are going to speak German, you are going to speak Spain, you are going to, etc. So this is the second, environment. The third one, remember we got 5 theories. So the third one is the la-la theory. What is the la-la theory? So according to the third one, suggests that language may have developed from the sounds associated with love, play, and sound. It's like what is love? Okay, love is a feeling when you love someone else, because when you take care of someone, when you look after someone else. But love is when your nest, when your family, pues para que me entiendan, when your family teach you something by taking care of you, okay? Look at a baby. Imagine when you are feeding a baby, when you are giving food, when you are giving a piece of apple or something like that, we like to play with the baby. Aquí viene el avioncito, el avioncito, ay, comió el niño. Perdón, yo no tengo esa paciencia de verdad. Pero el punto es ese. The third theory is according to love, play, and song. According to Otto Jespersen, Ottoniel Jespersen, he said his theory is based on when a baby learns something by loving, playing, and listening to music. That's why all the psychologists recommend, okay, if you had a baby or if you're pregnant, it's really good to listen a kind of, for example, classical music, jazz music, symphonic, for example. So because that stimulate the feto, okay? And when the baby is around 1 month or early 1 year old, so it is important to how you are going to teach that kid, okay? Because in the way you are going to teach, you are going to get results. The third theory is based on babies. The la theory. When a baby, it is basically when the baby learn how to pronounce words. It is related with the environment too, but it is basic on the language development associated with love, play, and song. What is the fourth? The fourth theory named poo-poo. The fourth theory is poo-poo. In this case, it's very interesting because it's about babies too. It's about babies too, but the poo-poo theory is when the baby cries, because a baby cannot speak, cannot articulate a sound. So when he is demanding something, when she is demanding something, I'm talking about a baby, what is the reaction? He cries. He cries. If the baby wants to sleep, he cries. If the baby is hungry, he cries. Because he can't speak. That is the poo-poo theory, when the baby communicates by crying. So that is the poo-poo theory. And the last one name is Yohio. That is the fifth theory, Yohio. According to this theory, language evolved from the grunts and snort evoked by heavy physical labor. This is according to all of you guys. This is for humans. This is for humans resources. The Yohio theory. When a human articulates, when a human grunts too, because it's a sound too. For example, when you snore, like, okay, it's because maybe you got rhinitis. When you groan, maybe because you're tired. So the sounds when you, for example, say, oh, that kind of sound. Are you tired? Yes, I am. I have been working for almost 10 hours. So that is a yo-yo that is involved with the sounds by specific notes, specific, in this case, physical emotions. Hey, what happened to you? Because you look a kind of, are you sick? Yes, I am. I'm sick. So, because your perception, when someone, hey, vea que andas mal, fíjate que no te veo bien. So, your physical appearance project, your physical, it's not necessary, it's not necessary to communicate using words. Having a conversation is not necessary. That is this one. That is the Yu-Gi-Oh theory. When as a human we got the ability to have conversation, but it's not necessary to show your feelings according to sounds because you look terrible. Hey, ¿para qué estás enfermo? Es que te ves, it's not necessary. Hey, I'm sick. Look, no, it's not necessary because you look sick. Any question, my dear, is 5, 4, 3, 2. Everything is clear? Yes, totally clear, teacher. Como el horchata no está quedando excelente. Muy bien. So, what does language study? I'm not asking about meaning. I'm asking about what does language, to be specific, study. ¿Qué estudia el lenguaje? Futuros profesionales. 60 segundos. What does language study? Okay, I'm going to give you mine first, and then I'm going to start as a volunteer. What does the language study? Language is many things. A system of communication, a medium for thought, a vehicle for literary expression, a social institution, that is you, me, all people, a matter for political controversy, and a factor in nation building. Volunteer. What does language study? That is our culture. Well, your culture, not mine. We have the culture to read, but we want to pass the cup, right? So maybe you have to start reading that kind of topics, okay? Yes, guys, I know you are very intelligent because when I asking always a question to all of you, you always answer in a very, very correct way. What does language study? Anita creo que tuvo problemas con el Inter otra vez. Okay, yes, please, my goodness, guy, I need to move on. Thank you. Thank you, Mauri.
I think maybe, well, I think it is uh, structures of the language and also why the words have that meaning.
Okay, thank you, Mauri. Ladies, what does language study? Yes. Ale, Irene, Jackie, thank you. Hey, where is Ellie? Ellie's absent, my goodness.
Yeah, it's maybe the structure and maybe the way how we write paragraph, or maybe the correct way how to do it.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Jackie, Irene, Ale.
I'm not sure, but I think that language study the different expressions that we use to speak and a specific language, and in this case, I think that it focuses in the four skills because it is necessary to know how to use the four skills and how to apply it.
Okay, thank you. Ale, please.
I'm not sure, but study how communicate, how to transfer the social communication, and it make easier.
Okay.
And it includes everything: pronunciation, syntaxes, the grammar, and everything. Not just for the speaking or just for communicate. No, it's everything about this language.
Okay. I remember 10 years ago, I was a kind of boring to be and study that kind of topics. Now, as an adult, now as an adult, I really enjoy these kind of topics. Okay, because now I'm the professional, but I'm a professional. But okay, which career are you studying? I'm studying to be a professor. I'm studying English. Okay, but oh my goodness, yes, you have to enjoy your career, and this is a part of it. You have been mentioned the word structure, but language is not a structure. Okay, okay, I respect your opinion, guys. I respect your opinion, but if there a mistake, I need to correct it. Number one, language is not a structure. Linguistic it is. Okay, I repeat it again. If I ask this question into the partial, because I will, be careful with the word structure, okay? Because language is not a, yes, teacher, but when you write it, yes, but be focused on what language. Language is when you, no me acuerdo quién fue que dijo. Language is when you communicate. I'm not talking about writing. I'm not talking about reading. Okay? Look at my definition. Well, this is not mine, okay? This is the ECAP definition, and it is correctly because it's a system of communication, expression. Okay, we are not talking about reading, writing, stroke. No way. No, y no me digan no como no, no way. No, no, and no. You're totally wrong. For the first time, you are totally wrong. Linguistic, yes it is the structure of language. Is just to how people, how humans communicate and express. ¿Se fijaron las 5 teorías? Ninguna de las 5 teorías mencionó reading, writing, ninguna. Todo era comunicación, ya sea por medio, en este caso, que los sonidos, y nos comunicamos, las expresiones, no hay necesidad de decir que andas mal si te ves mal, ¿ok? Como nuestra mamá nos enseñó a comer con el avioncito que hay. Entonces, that is language. How simple. How people communicate. How people express. Okay? So be careful on that. So, human language must be creative, allowing novelty and innovation in response to experience, situation, and threat. Okay, so look at this one. Look at this one. What is language? Okay. Now, look at system. Vamos a quitarle acá porque si no, no puedo ver aquí. Okay. What is language? Number 1. System, arbitrary, vocals, symbol, human, communication. System, a system of sounds. Simple. Arbitrary, cannot predict exactly which specific features we will find in a language if we are not familiar with it. That happened to me when I had the opportunity to visit a country that in that country they don't speak Spanish, instead in English too. I have some problems to communicate that is arbitrary, okay? When you have the necessity to learn a language. Vocals, it is language sounds, symbols. A language is a symbol system, words associated with object, ideas, and actions. Human, it is a system that only human beings possess. Communication, it's allow people to say things in each other express, they communicate it. We are not talking about a structure. All the terms are basic, simple of a language that is actions, sounds, being process. So be careful because language is not the structure of language. It's just to communicate with others. El sistema, the system, the symbol. ¿Cuáles son los símbolos? Cuando vamos en este caso de fonética, que lo vamos a ver hoy también, que es un tema súper genial. So, that is in this case language. The father of the linguistic. Okay, now go back because I need to, all of you must identify linguistic and language. Como lo dije antes, señores, estos temas son de CAP. Y como se los dije hace una semana, ya aburre, teacher, sí, pero es que para que le entre aquí, le quede que nos tenemos que preparar para ese examen. Estos son temas de CAP de la parte de inglés. Para los que entraron ahí un poquito tarde, lástima que no pude conseguir la parte de inglés, en realidad el examen tal cual, como un examen de diagnóstico para preparárselos, pero lo vamos a ver de esa manera, ¿ok? So, I'm demanding to all of you to please pay attention because this is your business, guys. It's not my business. I really enjoy this topic now because it's a really good topic because you're starting a career, you are learning a language, so you have to be careful because it's not just I'm starting to be a professor, I'm starting to be an English teacher. So, y entonces pues, qué chiva tu vida, ¿verdad? Solo ir pasando las manos. No way. You have to, according to Alessandra said, it is more than. It is more. It's not just to say, okay, I'm studying because I like to teach, because one of my objectives is to be a professor. One of my objectives is to work in a call center. So, no way. ¿De dónde viene lo que usted está estudiando? ¿De dónde viene ese lenguaje? ¿Por qué se le llama lingüística? Okay, it's very easy to identify. Linguistic, it's all. It's all. Grammar, syntax, pragmatic, morphemes, phonetic, phonology. As I said before, what is the difference? A ver quién se acuerda. ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre phonology y phonetic? ¿Cuál es la diferencia, señores, entre phonology, en lo que pongo a cargar eso antes de que se me apague? ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre phonology y phonetic? Vamos a ver, señores, ¿qué han estado haciendo durante estos casi 4 años? Vamos a ver. ¿Cuál es la diferencia, hijos? Phonology, fonética. Be honest, okay? Teacher, I don't have any idea. Yes, be honest, okay?
No, teacher, I don't have idea.
Excellent. Please, guys, I'm not a judge. Mi tono de voz es como que yo estoy regañando a la gente, pero no, hombre, yo no le estoy regañando, hijos lindos. Solo quiero saber dónde estoy parada con ustedes, ¿verdad? So, no sabemos, ¿ok? Y no es pecado que no sepa, mis amores, y para eso estoy yo. Pero puede ser que usted ya lo sepa y le estoy enseñando un tema que usted ya lo sabe. Yo digo, quizás yo estoy perdiendo mi tiempo, ¿verdad? Pero, ¿sabemos cuál es la diferencia entre phonology and phonetic? Mauricio said, no, teacher, I don't have any idea. Okay, nice. Ladies?
No, teacher, I don't know. I have no clue.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. Thank you so much. And okay, and don't get stressed because I'm here to help you. Okay, but yo quiero saber porque quizás ya estoy, ya lo saben los hipotes y ahí lo vamos a aburrir, pero okay, excellent. So, what's the difference between what is a phoneme? Puede ser fonética o un fonema también. And what is the difference between se me fue, fonética y un phonology. Okay, phonology is the sounds and phonetic is the corchetes. Se me olvidó cómo se dice corchetes. Cuando ponen la palabra, ¿cómo se pronuncia? Okay, but don't get stressed because I'm going to teach you because it is included. So, now, the father of linguistics, that is in this case, Panini. Could you please, Irene, could you please help me to read the information about Panini?
Panini was an ancient Sanskrit philologist. Sanskrit is an Indic language of the ancient Indian subcontinent with 3,500-year history. It is the primary liturgical language of Hinduism and the predominant language of most works of Hindu philosophy. Panini created the text Astadhyayi 3,959 rule of linguistics, syntax and semantics in 8 chapters, which represents the foundation of the study of grammar and linguistic analysis in a Sanskrit language.
Excellent, thank you. Y me disculpo porque ahí tosí, yo siempre apago el micrófono, perdón, hijos. Okay, so, the father of the linguistic is Panini. Esto no viene en su examen, en su parcial, chicos. Solamente quiero que sepa quién fue el padre de la lingüística. Simplemente, o ya sabe que el padre de la lingüística fue, en este caso, Panini. Eso no viene en su parcial. Ok. Esto sí viene en su parcial. Linguistic is, y aquí sí quiero que pongan atención porque esta es su presentación oral del día miércoles. Linguistic is, or maybe linguistic involve phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatic. I would like to be very, very honest to all of you. because I don't like to lie to my own students. I don't like to invent in my class. Why, teacher? Is for me, how can I explain this one? Okay, I got phonetics, that is very easy. Phonology, that is very easy to understand too. Syntax, oof, the easiest topic. Semantic, it is easier to, but I'm a kind of confused with what is the pragmatic. I got a sense what pragmatic is, but I'm continuous study. I'm continuous study about the pragmatic. I got some examples. To each term, but in the case of the pragmatic, to be honest, I'm continuous studying, okay? But phonetic, morphology, syntax, esos sí son temas super ultra mega fáciles. Sí, son super fáciles. In my case, the problem for me, this is my personal, is pragmatic. So look at this one. Phonetic, look at the green one. Phonetic is speech sounds. Look at the blue one. Phonology are phonemes. Look at the purple one. Morphology. Morphology is simple, are words. Look at syntax. Syntax are phrases and sentences. Look at semantics. Semantics. This is orange. Yes, it is orange. Look at semantic. Look at the semantics. Is in this case, literal meaning of phrases and sentences. That's when your teacher say, okay, what is phonology, guys? But please, don't give up the meaning. Could you please give us the definition? But in this case, semantic is literal meaning of phrases and sentences. Teacher, estoy confundido, ya me quiero tirar por la ventana. No, hombre, está fácil si focus. And we got the pragmatic. Meaning in context. Ahí me llama la atención esa palabra. Cuando yo estoy estudiando la parte de la pragmática, y eso fue hace como unos 4 años más o menos, y incluso ayer también le di una pequeña leidita, pero como les digo, todos los demás temas para mí son súper fáciles. En el caso de pragmatic fue así como que no me acordaba que era el pragmatic. Y ahí les tengo unos ejemplos, y según yo entendí cuando dice meaning in context of discourse. Yo estaba viendo unas fotografías que es cuando usted ve una fotografía y la fotografía no tiene un contexto literal, sino que la fotografía es la que expresa lo que quiere dar a entender. No sé si me explico. Are you following me? Yes? No? So, that's pragmatic for me. When we got a picture without a context, just the picture show us what is the information, okay? But that is very easy to understand in that case for me. Okay, I got it in like this. Okay, so but please don't cry. Okay, oral activity. Look at please. Pilas aquí con lo que les voy a mostrar. Esto se lo voy a subir en la tarde. This is your oral presentation. This is your oral presentation for this coming Wednesday, 30. I'm going to give you 2 days to be ready. So in this case, you are going to choose one topic. Phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, or pragmatics. Look at this one. As a student, you have to study and explain one linguistic term. Only one. Number 2, you must prepare at least 4 PowerPoint presentations. This is my old school, but if you got another system, if you got another way, like maybe Canva, I don't know, do it, please. Okay, this is free. But mine is PowerPoint presentation, but if you got another one, please do it and use it. Number 3, explain how do we use it. Number 4, give some examples. All of them must include, I mean, excuse me, for example, words examples, sentences examples, and a paragraph. Teacher, what is paragraph? Después les enseño porque ahí les traigo un ejemplo de párrafo. At the end of your oral presentation, you need to have a short quiz. The short quiz is for your classmates. You have to prepare a short quiz related with the topic that you have been explaining before. So you have to have a short quiz in order to be sure you or your mates got the topic. And look at this one. This is the rubric. Organization, fluently, subject knowledge, and visual aids. Organization, be careful with the opening, closing. You have when you have an oral presentation, remember you have to give us an introduction, like okay guys, well not guys because this is formal. Okay classmates, so in this opportunity I'm going to talk about blah 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 blah. My objective is blah 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 blah, etc. And then start. Fluently, speech flows smoothly. I mean, you have to be you have to be very clear with the words, okay? Fluently, remember you are going to get a degree as a professor, so you have to be clear because you are the way to communicate with others. So I need to understand what you are presenting. Subject knowledge. This is very easy because I know you are going to study the topic and you are going to present it. Because I got 2 objectives for this. Objective number 1 is to be sure you understand all terms in order to be ready for your gap evaluation. And number two, because I need to do an activity for your grades. Para los que traen un poquito tarde, en el receso o cuando termine la jornada, porque los lunes son súper pesados, les voy a subir las notas de didáctica y de gramática. Sus cuadros se las voy a subir al portal, ya están ahí. Visual aids, remember, it's not necessary to put a lot of words in a PowerPoint presentation. It's not necessary. Remember, be careful on that, okay? Yes, it is necessary to have at least 4, but for me, the most important is to see if you're ready with the topic. An equation, my dearest student, this is for this coming Wednesday. Okay, en equation 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Si ustedes se fijan, tengo... Yes.
Could you upload this PDF later on, please?
¿Qué, hija linda?
Esta indicación.
No, mi amor, no te preocupes. Yo dije, yo lo voy a subir al portal. Sí, yo lo dije.
I have a question. In this case, the quiz will be a quiz that I'm going to prepare, or can I look for in internet?
It's your option. If you want to create in a Google Drive, do it. If you want to look, regáleme 10 segundos, permítame, chicos. Gracias, hijo, perdón. So, Irene, it's your option, okay? Don't worry. If you want to create a quiz on Google Drive, do it. If you look for someone on internet, do it, okay? It's free, okay? It's free, yes. The problem, well, not the problem, the detail is this one. I got 6 terms. 1 each student. One per student, excuse me. So, envíenme ahorita un mensaje en el chat y la primera persona que me diga, teacher, yo voy a hablar de fonética, ya nadie puede hablar de fonética. Vamos, señores, escoja su tema y mándemelo al chat de Zoom, por favor. porque no puedo repetir temas. No puedo repetir temas. Anita, phonics. Irene, phonology. Mauricio, ya te quitaron el tema. Vamos a ver, espérame. Tengo phonetics. No, espérame. Phonics, no va. Ok, vamos a ver. Anita, phonology. Escríbame el tema como lo he puesto. ¿Ya alguien confused? Anita, phonology. Irene, no me puedes agarrar phonology. Mauricio, phonetics. Jackie, syntax. Y el tema de syntax, Jackie, súper fácil, súper genial también. La verdad que todos son fáciles. Morphology también es fácil. Sí, bueno, es que no se asusten. En mi caso, yo siento difícil pragmática. O sea, yo siento difícil pragmática. Ok, ¿quién me falta? Ale, Irene. Phonics y phonology es lo mismo. Y como Anita lo escribió primero, nos vamos con Anita, phonology. Mauricio, fonética. Jackie, syntax. Irene, semantics. 1, 2, 3, 4. Me faltan 2.
Ay.
Me faltan
No sé
2.
cuál es. Espéreme.
¿Cuáles me quedan? Morphology y pragmatic. Ok.
Morphology.
Ay, es que me falta él y es cierto. Mándamelo, Ale, poneme ahí Morphology porque estoy tomando foto. Entonces a él le quedaría. A él le quedaría entonces Pragmatic. Ok, permítanme, voy a tomar una picture. Ok, gracias, caballero. Entonces, gracias, señoritas, gracias, caballero. Ok, vamos a ver. Voy a tomar picture porque no se me olvida. Anita, nos vamos con phonology. Anita, cuando me vayas a presentar el tema, no me vayas a poner phonemes. Ponémelo tal cual así, phonology. Mauricio, nos vamos con fonética. Jackie, nos vamos con syntax. Permítame, lo voy a tomar picture. Irene, nos vamos con semantic. Nos vamos con semantic. Y Alessandra, voy con la picture. Alessandra, vamos con morphology. Excelente, señores. Muy bien. Esto se lo voy a subir al portal, no se preocupen. Esto se los voy a subir al portal, si es posible, cuando termine ya jornada. Ok, señores, nos vamos con 6 minutos de descanso. Y 8:28, 8:29. No, pues regresamos a las 8:36 minutos. Señores, vamos a un pequeño descanso. Okay, señores, let's continue. Okay, to have a review. Phonetic is speech sounds. Phonology, phonemes. Morphology are words. Syntax, phrases and sentences. Semantic, literal meaning of phrases and sentences. And pragmatics is meaning in context. Now, let's study number 1. What is linguistic? Linguistic studies phonetics. What is phonetic? It's very simple to identify and understand. Phonetic are symbols. Phonetics are symbols. I mean, it's not how to pronounce. Okay, be careful. Phonetic is not how to pronounce. Phonetic is just the symbols. Look at this one. We got how to identify the correct one, ¿ok? Phonetic es básicamente la simbología. Yes, okay, yes, it is related with the sound, but phonetic is symbols. En este caso, la fonética de cómo se distingue la pronunciación de esa palabra. No en este caso. Quiero que me entienda. La fonética es el símbolo, pues vaya. La fonética es el símbolo de cómo pronunciar esa palabra. Esto es fonética. Ahora bien, linguistic is phonetic. Now, linguistic is phonetic. Linguistic is phonology or phonemes. Phonology and phonemes. It is the same. Puede ser fonología o fonema, es lo mismo. Es el mismo. Observe acá. Pilas con esto. In English, there are 44 phonemes or word sounds that make up the language. Okay? In English, I'm not talking about Spanish, okay? I'm not talking about Spanish. I'm talking about English. They are divided into 19 consonants, 7 digraphs, 5 control sounds, 5 long vowels, 5 short vowels, 2 sounds, and 2 diphthongs. Okay? In English, there are 44 phonemes divided in consonants, digraph, excuse me, long and short vowels, sounds, and diphthongs. Look at this one. Example. This is phonology. This is phonology. How we pronounce the word in a correct way. Look at the yellow one. Look at the square. The yellow square are the vowels. Look at this one. We got the first phoneme. When we got the word, in this case, it's a verb. Ahí lo se ve algo pequeño, pero ahí tengo más ejemplos. We got the verb sí. Sí. The phoneme is E. E. As a Latin vowel. E. A, E, I, O, U. O, U, perdón. E. Sí. Sí. Ahora bien, look at the second. Could you please, Irene, turn on your audio? Could you please, Irene, help me to read the second pronoun? Thank you, Irene.
Is.
Yes, please, thank you.
Is a girl, but.
No. Just the second, this one, the pronoun. I said the pronoun, yes. Just read.
His.
Okay, thank you. Alessandra, could you please do it? The second, just the second.
In why?
The second.
His.
Okay. Anna, could you please read the second pronoun? This one. Look at my cursor.
Eyes.
Again, please.
So is.
Okay.
Is.
Okay, Jackie.
His.
Again.
His.
Okay, Mauricio.
His.
Okay, so. Okay, guys, all of you are wrong. That's why you have to be careful when you say, excuse me, I speak English. According to the phoneme, the second it sounds like a eh. Yes, it is. Believe me, yes. Y si no me creen, búsquenlo después ustedes solitos. The first phoneme, the first one, the first phoneme, the first phonology, the first phoneme is E. 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 Like a C. Like a C. The second phoneme sounds like a E. E. So the first one is C. The second is his. His. No, not his. No, his. His is, it doesn't exist. See, his. See, his. Look, we have to respect. I'm not inventing, guys. If you look on internet, that is the correct one. So, ¿alguna vez habían estudiado la tabla de los fonemas? Maybe not. But don't worry because it's time, okay? It's time. So, esta es la tabla de ustedes, señores. Esto que están viendo acá es su machete. Ah, o sea, nosotros A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, L, bla, bla. Ok, yes. Ok, está bien. Pero esa es para los alumnos. Esta es como la tabla periódica para los que estudian química, los que estudian para químicos farmacéuticos, etcétera, etcétera. Ahora, esta es la tabla de nosotros. Esta es la tabla de nosotros. Y quiero que ponga atención, porque voy a tratar la manera de explicárselo lo más claro que se pueda. Voy a apagar acá. Vamos a ver. According to the phoneme, this is E. 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 Me voy a hacer pausa en esta, porque en realidad vamos a estudiar todas, pero no hoy, porque, o sea, es mucho y no los quiero aburrir, no los quiero estresar. Entonces, we got E, E. E, E. This is like your period table, okay? Please take a few minutes of your 24 hours and try to study, okay? Try to get involved in this one because this is your tool to teach. So we got C, his. C, his. C, his. Look at this one. We got put, to. This is short. I'm not inventing. Look at the purple. Short sounds. This is put, short, to. Because if you say two, it doesn't exist. You can say you too. This is long. Hey, it's very interesting, right? No, it's boring, teacher. I'm so sorry for you, but for me, it's very interesting. So this is short. This is long. So what is phonemes? What is phonemes? This is phonemes. This is funny. I'm not talking about the structure. Please take that word out from your mind. I'm not talking about structure, okay? This is phonemes. This is your tool. This is your tool to teach. But don't get stressed because it's very easy. Now, look at this one. Oops, look at this one. I got the first one. I got the first phoneme because in this week we are going to study the vowels. I'm going to start with the vowels, and maybe in the next coming week I'm going to continue with the consonant. But now I'm going to start with the vowels. I'm going to ask you, could you please, Mauricio, thank you. Could you please turn on your audio, your microphone? And could you please help me to pronounce the first column and the second column? Thank you.
Okay. Bean and bean. Chip and chip. His and his. It and it. Sit and sit.
Thank you so much. Could you please choose a lady? It's your option.
Ale.
Thank you, Alessandra. Go ahead.
Being, chip, his, it, sit. Being, chip, his, it, sit.
Okay, choose a lady, please, Ale. Thank you.
Jackie.
Jackie, thank you.
Okay. Ben, chip, it, his, it, sit.
Okay, thank you. Choose a lady, please. The last one.
Irene.
Thank you, Irene.
Ben, chap, his, it, set, bean, sheep, his, it, sit.
Thank you, Anita. You are the last one.
Ben, chip, his, it, sit. Bean, chip, his, it, sit.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, listen to the teacher because I'm not the perfect one. But please listen because I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach to all of you according to the rule. The first phoneme, look at my screen. Look at my screen. The first phoneme sounds like a E. The second phoneme sounds like a I, like a or Latin, I, A, E, I, or U. So I repeat it again. E, E. Do it by yourself, please. E, E, I, I. Muchos alumnos se confunden porque piensan que como aquí tiene estos dos puntitos, piensan que este se pronuncia como E y el siguiente como es tal cual ahí, piensan que se pronuncia como I. Y lastimosamente pues en el inglés ellos lo hicieron así. La primera es como una E y la segunda es como una I. I repeat.
I want to say something. I know that when the vowel has that 2 points, it's because they are long.
But that is not. The difference is very simple. But it's a kind of confused. Bueno, es como cuando nosotros decimos A, E, I, O, U. O sea, obviamente estamos aprendiendo un nuevo lenguaje y obviamente no va a sonar lo mismo. Entonces, en este caso, I, it's loud, our I, o sea, nuestra I, ¿verdad? En este caso, E. Pero borremos, porque no los quiero confundir. Estamos aprendiendo inglés. Entonces, la primera, E, de fonín, E. No sé quién le tocó este tema. Pilas ahí con la pronunciación, no nos vayamos a venir a confundir todo, vea. E, I. Now, look at this one. Look at this one. Ben, bean, chip, cheap, his, it, eat, sit, sit. Sit down, le dicen los maestros a los niños. Sit down, sit down, sit down. ¿Qué es sit? Para comenzar, this is a verb. This is a noun. What is sit? Asiento. Ese es el noun, pero el verbo no es en este caso sit. El verbo en este caso es sit down. Totally different. This is the verb.
Wait.
Yes,
can you repeat again, please?
Yes, this is the verb. This is the verb.
Sit.
Sit down. Sit down. Exactly. Sit down. Sit down, le dice, ¿verdad? Hasta yo he cometido esos errores, no, si yo aquí no les vengo a inventar ni a plantear nada, no, hombre, si hasta la teacher lo ha hecho, hasta la LIC lo ha hecho también en algún su momento. ¿Pero por qué? Porque obviamente el inglés no es mi idioma nativo, ¿verdad? Entonces, o sea, nosotros vamos a cometer errores, pero que nos perdonen ahí los gringos, ¿verdad? Pero se pueden corregir y ahorita lo estamos corrigiendo. Entonces, ahorita lo estamos corrigiendo. Entonces, aquí en este caso, set, sit. Sit is an object and sit is the verb. Sit down. Sit down. No sit. Sit down. No. Sit down. Could you please sit down? Thank you so much. Okay. So that's the difference. Look at again. Ben, being. Chip, cheap. His, his. And if you don't feel comfortable, repeat with me. And please pay attention to articulation sounds. Pilas con la estructura. Look at the structure. I mean, the articulations. Bilabial. ¿Por qué se llama bile? Porque ocupa sus labios. Bilabial. Entonces, ben. Y observe su lengua. Is in the air. O sea, la lengua queda prácticamente en el aire. Ben. Hágalo conmigo, okay? This is for you. This is not for me. Okay? Ben. Now, the second. Be. Your paladar is a kind of close with the top of your tongue. Being. En la primera solo ocupa bailar. Está el nombre de todas esas articulaciones. Alveolar es la otra, bilingual es la otra, alveolar es la otra. O sea, que dependiendo de cómo usted pronuncia, utiliza toda esta parte de acá. Y hay unas cuantas que son nasales también, pero ahorita no me voy a meter en eso. O sea, vamos con la primera vocal. Ben, being. Be. Your mouth is more like a open. Being. Okay, being. Okay, now. Ben, being. Sin miedo. Chip, cheap. His. Eat. Set, sit. Alessandra, please, could you please repeat it again? Could you please read the first and the second? Oops, thank you, Ale. Are you ready? Please let me know. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, go ahead. Thank you. Irene, nos preparamos. Okay, the first and the second column. Thank you, Ale.
Everything in the first column in the
yes, read the first. Excellent. Yes, read the first and then read the second.
Okay. Ben, chep, his, et, set. Being, ship, his, it, sit.
Perfect. Irene, and then please, Mauricio.
Ben, being, chap, sheep, has, his, et, it, set, sit.
Totally different. Perfect. Thank you, Mauri. Thank you. And then Anita.
Ben, being, chip, cheap, his, it, set, sit.
Sí, thank you, Anita. And then Jackie.
Ben, chap, has, et, set. Being.
Again, please, again. Okay, read the first column and then the second.
Okay. Ben, being, chip, cheap, has, his, et, it, set, sit.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I think, Jackie, you're missing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Ben, bent, chap, chip, has, his, it, set, sit.
Easy to understand, right? Now, look at this one. I'm going to give you, what time is it? Son las 9, digamos. 8:57. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. Yes, will be okay. 10 minutes, 10 minutos. Please, guys. You are going to classify that words according to the phoneme. I'm going to give you 10 minutes, but one of the techniques that I recommend to use it is pronounce the word and then classify it according to the phoneme. 10 minutes, any question, my dearest and intelligent students? No? Okay, so
No,
Yeah,
guys,
we said
teacher,
this.
thank you.
no, just take a picture, Mauri. Yes, just take a picture, okay? It's not necessary, just take a picture when you finish. Yes, just take a picture, yes, because this is not my attendance. Todavía no he tomado asistencia. Esa no es mi asistencia. Mi asistencia, perdón.
No la vamos a pronunciar entonces.
No. Just classify, okay? Do it by yourself. Do it by
Okay.
yourself. Do it in your notebook, or in a neatly way. Do it in your notebook. Try to classify according to the phoneme. One of the techniques, as I said before, is to pronounce the word first and then classify it. Okay? Yes, it is clear? It is?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. So 10 minutes. 10 minutitos.
Teacher.
Yes, please.
Teacher.
Yes. Excuse me. Solamente es que les quiero, les ando buscando algo, permítame, porque sí. Ay, perdón, ay, esta teacher, Dios mío. Permítame, mis amores bellos, que les ando buscando algo que les quiero explicar. Solo, espérame, les quiero explicar. Ay, perdón. De verdad se me fue. Quiero ver si le encuentro. Ay. Quiero que no lo voy a encontrar. Perdón, hijos, perdón, no sé cómo. Ok, no lo encontré. Perdón. Aquí voy otra vez. Aquí voy otra vez. Quiero ver esto. Vamos a ver aquí. Ok, ahí estoy. Ya me acordé. Bueno, voy a esperar que termine porque sé que están pronunciando. Perdón. Es que me emociono, cipotes, me emociono, pero voy a esperar que termine. Okay, guys, finish? Be honest, finish?
Yes,
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, Jackie said yes. What about, let's see, Irene? Anna?
I finished.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, yes.
Not yet. Okay, 2 minutes. Mauri, what about you?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, 2 minutes. Okay, for Alessandra and Anna. 120 seconds. Teacher, how can... Yes, Jackie.
we have to send you the picture.
The picture, yes, in order to compare, okay? Just in order to compare. Teacher, how can I identify the long and the short sounds? It's very easy to identify. In linguistics, there is a term called minimal pairs. Minimal pairs is when we got two vowels together. Two vowels together. When we got two vowels together, it sounds like a long, sounds. I repeat it again. In linguistics, we got a term called minimal pairs. Minimal pairs is when we got two vowels together and the pronoun is long. When we got only one vowel pronounced in a short way. For example, look at the difference between, listen to the difference between this word and this one. This one and this one. Did, 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 did. Toda la vida, teacher, yo le he pronunciado este como did, did. Okay, be careful. This is number one, this is short. This is short because it got only one vowel. Did, did. Look at the second. Minimal pairs. Ah, ya la teacher me enseñó que es un minimal pair. ¿Qué es un minimal pairs? Is when we got two vowels together. When we got two vowel joins together. Did. Did. Okay, so let's see. Let's start. Compare to your answers. Let's see. Let me see. I got Alessandra. I got Jackie. What happened with Irene, Mauricio, Anita? I didn't receive your pictures. I got Jackie. I got Alessandra's. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Ok, thank you, señores. Acuérdense, quiero mejorar la parte de trabajar con ustedes más rápido, ¿ok? Quiero mejorar esa parte. ¿Ok? Estoy
Teacher,
revisando.
I already finished, but I forgot that I have to send the picture.
Yes, but you have time, okay? You have time now. Please send it. I'm checking Jackie's work. Excuse me. Ah, yes. I'm checking Jackie's. Yes, it is. Ah, yes, Jackie. Muy bien, Jackie. Ningún error. Excelente. Vamos a ver. I'm going to check. Before to give us the correct ones, I need to check it, okay? Be careful with the, okay, Alessandra, you got a mistake with this, okay? Be careful with the phoneme because it's not the correct one, okay? But don't get stressed, okay? We are learning. Let me check. Ale, it is the first time that I don't understand your handwriting.
I'm so sorry.
The second column is real, peel. Let's see, peel. It is an S. It is an S.
Yeah, it's like R.
Ah, okay. It's an R.
Meet. No, it's a F.
Ah,
But
okay.
it's like, yeah.
Okay. Ah, okay. The first one in the second column, the first that is there, you erase it up, right? But
No.
you add
Well,
again.
I erased, but it's, yes, it's a mess. I know. Sorry.
Okay. The only mistake is there. It's not the correct phoneme. There. Let's see with the first one. Okay. Yes, it's my goodness, Alessandra, what happened with your handwriting? This is the first time that I cannot catch it at all. Let me see, Irene. Okay. Irene, be careful because the first column, Irene. Okay, the first column you had D. That is long sound. So the first phoneme, that is D, it is incorrect. In the second column, okay, you got, okay, the incorrect ones, Irene, the incorrect ones. Did, feel, green, heat, sleep, steal. You have to switch. Irene, you have to switch. You get confused with the phoneme. Lo que explicaba anteriormente, ¿verdad? Pensamos que como la I está sola se pronuncia como I. Y como la otra tiene los dos puntitos, pensamos que esa es la E. Pero es al revés. The first one, this one, look at my screen. This one sounds like a E. The second sounds like a I. So, E, I, E, I, E, I, E, I. Okay, Irene, please fix it up. Let me check. I didn't got Anita. My goodness, I didn't got yours.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to check it out before to give us the correct one. Okay. Dicho, yo he vivido engañada toda mi vida. Según yo se decía did. No, it's not. Not is not. Okay, I'm just waiting for Anita's. Okay, please, Anita, please. I don't know what happened with Mauricio. Maybe he got some problem with his internet. Ya no se dice when with his. In this case, possessive pronoun, his. Okay, Anita, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready, please? You got more than 2 minutes extra.
Here, can I send it by Zoom?
Please, thank you. Yes, I'm waiting for Anita's too.
My phone doesn't want to work. But give me a second, please.
Oops, I can't hear you. Could you please repeat it? Yes, Anita? Let's see, Jackie, you didn't got any mistakes. So may I ask you, it was easy to understand because you didn't got any. Or could you please share us what was your technique, your strategy?
Okay, as I mentioned ago, I said I will say in Spanish, okay? Por ejemplo, tenemos el segundo fonema, ¿verdad? Que tiene los dos. Esos dos puntitos significan que la vocal es larga, o sea que el sonido va a ser extenso. Entonces, sabemos que cuando nos encontramos con dos E, no se pronuncia E, sino que se pronuncia I. Entonces, eso fue.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks to you too, Mauricio. Okay, I got that. And failed. Excelente, Mauricio. Excellent. 0 mistakes. Congrats. So, Mauricio, could you please share? It was easy to identify the phoneme. Could you please
Yeah,
share
I
us your
think it
technique?
was easy. Well, mi técnica fue solamente ver que iba en ese orden las palabras. Pero ya cuando, por ejemplo, cuando veo palabras así, ya estaba acostumbrado a lo que viene siendo una transcripción fonética. Fue una de las primeras cosas que intenté aprender.
Okay, so teacher, in my case, I'm really bad at learning or studying because I prefer to practice. Okay, one of my advices to all of you, if you don't want to read, if you don't, but you have to, but if you don't want to read, if you don't want to spend your time doing this kind of exercises, just listen to music in English. This is the easiest. You are enjoying, at the same time you are learning. Okay, guys, let's see. The first phoneme sounds like a E. The second phoneme sounds like a E, and according to Jackie, is long pronounced. Look at this one. Dead. Me voy a acercar el micrófono. Dead. Vamos a ver acá. Ok. Dead. Dead. Deed. Deed. Fell. Fell. Feel. Feel. Fit. Fit. Feet. Feet. Green. Green. Excuse me. Green. 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 Hit. Hit. Heat. Heat. It's. It's. Is. Is. Hey, be careful with this one. I got the word is in the part of the speech. What is in the part of the speech? What is easy? Is. What is the difference between easy, is? What's the difference? In the number one, in the part of the speech, what kind of word is that? A noun, an adjective, a verb, a conjunction, an
Which one?
interjection. This one. It's.
Is. I don't know. I don't remember. I think
Because easy.
To make it easier, I think, or something like.
Okay. But it is what kind of word is in a part of the speech? Is.
A bear.
Okay, if you look for the meaning in your Lingui dictionary, it's facilitar. Facilitar. Maybe it will be, yes, it depends of the sentences, will be a verb too. Some people say it's a noun. Okay, but in this case, the point is we have to be careful with easy and is. Okay, easy is it's an adjective. So just yo solamente por hacer una pequeña reference. Okay, solo por hacer una pequeña reference. Now let's continue. I got met, meet, slept, sleep, tell, steal. Because sounds like a e, this sounds like a e, and this is short. This is short, and this is long. Any question, my dearest students?
Yes, what is a meet?
Meet. In this case, meat, it's a noun. It depends on the structure. For example, meat.
But the mean.
Yes, some people say it is a part or internal, a part of the cow. It is a part of the cow. Some people say, because it depends on the structure, meat is when you present something in a really detailed way, when you got a very, very long term about, or when you got knowledge about it. So for me, meat is a part of an animal. In this case, I cannot remember with the specific part, but it is a part of the animal. In this case, the animal of the cow. Yes, this is my. But some people say is when you got a long term about knowledge, when you manage a topic in a really good way because you got a knowledge on that. Yeah. Another question, my dearest. Another question, my dearest.
No.
Okay, so everything is clear, Chata. Okay, Anita, I got it. Thank you. I got it. Another, please. Another question. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now let's continue, and I'm going to finish the second vowel. I'm going to finish the class with the second vowel. I got the phonemes. I got the vowels. A, O, A, O. And look at, it is the same with this one. Pensamos que esta era I y esta era E, pero es todo lo contrario. E, I. Short, long. It is the same with this one. Yo sé que ya estamos cansados. I promise this is the last one. Now, I got two phonemes more. The first one is A. The second is O. O. Simple as that. A, O. A, O. According to the articulations, with the first phoneme, we have to open your mouth totally. Ah. If you feel the vibration is in this part, in this one. Ok, vamos a ver acá, permítame, voy a poner esto por acá. Oh my goodness. Okay, if you see is in this part or your throat. This is not your sore throat, no, on your throat. Your tongue doesn't touch any in your mouth. Just ah, ah. The sound, the vibration is in this part. Ah, ah. And the second is O. O. It's deeper, but in the O. O. It's more. It's deeper in this case. O. O. With your lips. Teacher, is bilabial the sound? No, it's not. But you have to have your lips are kind of closed, like a O, O. But it's very easy to identify in this case. But be careful, don't get confused with the first phoneme with the second, like a O, A, O. Now look at this one. I got back, back, fat, fat, hard, hard. Yes, it is. We are using the same phoneme, but the pronounce according to your articulation, it is the same. It is totally different with each word. Yes, it is the same phoneme, but look at back, throat, fat, bilateral, fat, had, alveolar. Again, back, back, throat, fat, fat. Okay, your fat, fat, the phoneme, fat, and the had, alveolar, fat. Your tongue like a touch a little, the alveolar like a had. As a teacher, we need to study the structure or articulation, okay? It's a kind of stress, it's a kind of worry, yes, I know, but it's your tool to teach. Let's move on. The second, bark, 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 heart, heart. Okay, in the first it's like a, totally a, and the second like a o with your o, okay? O, bark, bark, heart, back, fat, hat. Any question, my dearest students? A kind of stress?
Yeah.
No way, it's very easy. It's very easy to identify. As I said many times before, you only have to practice. Voy a hacer una pausa aquí ya, señores. Continuamos con este tema el día de mañana, porque todavía no me quiero meter a más ejercicios, a más pronunciación. O sea, quiero en este caso ir un poco despacio. Señores, recuerden que les voy a subir a la plataforma, bueno, las notas se las voy a subir hasta que termine jornada. La hoja de la presentación oral se la voy a subir también cuando termine jornada. Y cualquier duda o consulta, por favor, siempre déjenmela saber. Señores, me despido por este primer bloque y nos vemos a las 10 en punto para didáctica. Recuerden que estamos ahora discutiendo lo del examen de diagnóstico, que fue el parcial 2000, que fue el examen 2021 del ECAP. Señores, nos vemos a las 10 en punto.
Bye.